Welcome to the Green Skills for Cities lesson by the Vienna University of Economics and Business. In today's lesson, we will be looking into business sustainability and business models.
The main content of this lesson will focus on the introduction to business sustainability. We will also have a look into business model canvas and how to use it. And we will give you an overview of the preparation for the in-class activities. As mentioned, we will be looking into business sustainability. So this section will give you a short overview and introduction to business sustainability in relation to nature-based solutions. In the glossary, you can find the definitions to the most relevant terms of this lesson. You can have a look at these at your own time. When looking into the fundamentals of neoliberal models, the current economic behavior is primarily influenced by the GDP, and its growth is basically the key indicator for a nation's wealth. However, if we look at the IPCC even from 2022 and the report on the limits of growth, they clearly state that there is an unmistakable correlation between economic growth since the Industrial Revolution and also the overusage of finite resources, polluting land, air, and water. This causes our Earth's climate to change. But why do we need a paradigm shift? Well, we have resource scarcity, environmental pressures, we have effects caused by climate change, globalization, demographic changes, persistent poverty, social injustice, urbanization, and so on. So just to name a few. So if you are interested in reading a little bit on criticisms on growth, you can click on the link here. The business of business is business. This is a reasoning by Milton Friedman and many other economists, which follows the approach that profit orientation of companies is automatically entailing a social function. And by simply creating as much profit as possible, they contribute to giving people a job and wages, and this enhances the growth of a nation's GDP, and hence also its well-being. The problem, however, is that you cannot do business on a dead planet. And this is reality that we are facing with consequences of climate change, global warming, resource scarcity, and so on. So we can no longer actually afford businesses to only value profits and monetary outcomes while entirely ignoring and detaching their business performance from its real social and environmental consequences. While the triple bottom line paradigm of planet, people, and profit being treated equally and having overlapping goals has gained prominence, we still need to shift towards a more accurate understanding of how business is embedded. This is where nature-based solutions can and also should play a role. The economy cannot be disconnected from natural capital, so from the natural resources. Money is just a counting system but has no intrinsic value itself. Hence, the commonly used triple bottom line model is something we have to move away from. Instead, the model should be shown as concentric circles to the planet, ecology, underpinning the other two. Nature not only is an equal player to keep in mind, it is probably so far the most underestimated solution and one of our best chances to fight the challenges of the 21st century and beyond. If you want a good overview about business typology by Dillick and Muff, have a look at this video. The first attempt of a new way of doing business was embedded in the idea of CSR, corporate social responsibility, a concept which is also referred to as business sustainability 1.0. Here, businesses do recognize and embrace challenges and opportunities that occur from societal and environmental concerns. However, they do not change their core business idea or procedures, but rather do small cosmetic adjustments that in most cases result in a better public visibility of a company and strongly support their profit ambitions. Hence, economic value remains the main target, and business sustainability 1.0 ambitions primarily result in benefits for the business itself. Not surprisingly, CSR is often referred to as greenwashing, and even its initial founders declared their concept to be dead. Business Sustainability 2.0 follows another approach by equally focusing on all three sustainability pillars: the social, environmental, and economic dimension. In practice, this means that businesses not only focus on shareholder value, but also add social and environmental values. Intendedly set up sustainability goals are reached via the implementation of particular programs and actions. Thus, Business Sustainability 2.0 adjusts its business activities in accordance with the principles of the bottom line approach, and by minimizing its negative impacts in all three areas. The idea is to reduce the negative impact, but this still doesn't get us to businesses being part of creating the solutions we truly need. And this is the reason why we would introduce Business Sustainability 3.0 to you. Business Sustainability 3.0, in contrast to the earlier stages, no longer follows an inside-out perspective, but an outside-in. Now, what does that mean? Here, businesses start by looking at the external world and related social and environmental challenges first. And this is done before they even start developing their actual business idea. And instead of focusing on minimizing or outbalancing negative business performance, their aim is to create positive impact for the greater good. And that's where and when real business sustainability happens. Now, to give a short recap of the business sustainability typology by Dillig and Muff, we could see three major shifts from business as usual to business sustainability 3.0. The first shift considers a shift from economic concerns to a three-dimensional concern entailing social, environmental, and economic dimensions. The second shift entails a shift in the value created by the businesses from shareholder value to a broadened value proposition, which includes the three dimensions of the triple bottom line: people, planet, profit. The last shift is a shift from the fundamental organizational perspective from an inside-out to an outside-in perspective, with a focus on society and the sustainability challenges it is facing. So only a shift in the organizational perspective from inside out to outside in will actually allow a company to develop the strategies and the business models which are needed to make relevant contributions to overcome societal and planetary challenges, and thereby actually contribute to the common good. Next, we will look into the concept of business models and the use of a business model canvas. This is basically a tool to strategically plan a business idea or a project. This video will give you a short overview on what a business model canvas is and explains it in more detail. But in short, what is a business model? A business model is quite simply the story of your project or nature-based solution project. Now, the term business model is commonly used by enterprises worldwide to explain how the different elements of an enterprise work together to deliver value to a customer, and how enterprises make money from this value proposition. But why do we need a business model canvas for nature-based solutions? Firstly, to communicate. Nature-based solutions are a relatively new concept and sometimes quite difficult to explain to people who are unfamiliar with the concept. A business model canvas provides a quite simple way of telling others what you want to do and why you want to do it. It also helps you to explain who needs to be involved, and how you're going to make this project happen. So it uses a language which is widely understood by people from many different backgrounds. Secondly, you can use it to plan. It's a very useful first step for individuals or a group which is planning to implement a nature-based solution project. It helps everyone involved to consider the basic building blocks which are needed to build a successful, long-term and sustainable project. You can also use it to identify new partners. By considering the value that nature-based solutions can offer to different groups of people, a business model canvas helps to identify potential new partners or beneficiaries that might be interested in getting involved in the planning or the implementation or even the ongoing operation of the nature-based solutions project. Lastly, you can use the business model canvas to explore new sources of finance. If you combine the reflections on the value of nature-based solutions with identification of new partners, this can help you to identify potential sources of initial nature-based solutions financing, or also partners who could assist you with financing the ongoing costs or even contribute to cost reduction. But in order to use this for nature-based solutions, we need to adapt the business model canvas. Compared to a normal business model canvas, there are new fields integrated in the nature-based solutions business model canvas, which we are looking into. The model is based on these three key building blocks, but it begins with an expansion of the value proposition. The value proposition considers not only the benefits for the end users, but in this case also the broader environmental, economic, and social value propositions or others that you might identify. And this is also consistent with the European Commission definition of nature-based solutions. Now, as already mentioned, the business model for nature-based solutions is extended a little bit. The value proposition still remains at the center of the nature-based solutions business model canvas, but it's expanded to include environmental, social, and economic value propositions. The key beneficiaries has been used instead of customer segments, with the aim to broaden the consideration of possible customers. The key partners and key beneficiaries have been positioned side by side in this business model canvas, as this is supposed to reflect the overlap which often exists between partners and beneficiaries which are involved in nature-based solution projects. An example would be that the community is often a key beneficiary, but it's also often an important partner in projects. Now, governance reflects the importance to identify quite early on how the nature-based solution project will be managed on an operational basis. The cost reduction reflects the specific characteristics of nature-based solutions, which often allow for different ways to reduce direct costs. The next slides include some preparation work for the in-class activities. Please have a look at these at your own time.